What is going on, guys? You might ask yourself what we're doing at a sketchy warehouse, but the answer is very simple. Let's head in and I'll tell you why. We're gonna meet an even sketchier guy.
Hey!
You guys know Vinny. So we're here at the Greenpoint Fish and Lobster warehouse. Vinny, the owner, and he's got a special thing for me. You guys are gonna get to see some behind the scenes. Show him what we got.
This is our lobster tank. Holds live lobster. They're graded in rows by size. They're all live in these floating crates, but we grade them by size. Each size is a different spec for a restaurant. Whether you want a pound, pound and a half, 2 pounds, whatever. So each one of these is in lanes and they float. They can be pushed out. We can float as many crates as we want, and if we need them, we can just bring them back in.
All right, open one up and show them the. This is the good part. Sorry if it's a little bit loud in here, but you guys, it's gonna be worth it.
There's a truck coming too.
Oh. And where are these from?
Maine and Canada.
All right, and real quick, show me how you can tell a male from a female. If I'm correct, these are female.
Oh yes, and that one's shitting.
All right, tell me how you know it's a female.
The tail is a little bit bigger in order to hold the eggs.
And wait, that's a male?
Ooh, yikes.
That's a male. So it's by these two pinchers. When they're feathery like that, that's a female. And then hold up the male. And that's a male. They're more hard and shell-like.
You can also see the difference in the tail.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna grab a lobster. And what I'm gonna make is actually for Lunar New Year. It's Lunar New Year. You're supposed to eat something red for good luck. So I'm gonna do a Chinese inspired dish with one of the lobsters from Greenpoint Fish and Lobster. What do you got?
There's bugs in there. There's bugs in them there waters.
So as I mentioned at the warehouse, it is Lunar New Year. And in New York is one of the best places to be for Lunar New Year because you have the parade in Chinatown, you have the parade in Flushing, there's events that go on almost all month long. Once the new moon happens, and then keeps going for the rest of the month as far as celebrations. So we're gonna head back to the house and I'm gonna make General Tso's lobster. And like I said, it's Chinese inspired. It's not gonna be super traditional, but it is gonna be delicious. And then I think we're gonna head into the city and check out the parade. So that's my plan. I have my water steaming, I have my lobster here, and the most humane way to dispatch this guy is to go right up on the carapace like this, come straight down. There you go. He is dispatched. That's nerves firing, but he is gone. Okay, so this is gonna go straight into our pot of boiling water, but I'm only gonna cook him for about 5 minutes because we're gonna deep fry this lobster, so I don't want it to be fully cooked through. So even though we're par cooking, I still want to cool this down immediately when it comes out of the steamer here. So into an ice bath. And we're gonna let that cool down completely, and then we'll pick all the meat out of there. Now, one of the other things I'm gonna do is grab just a ladle of this steam water, and this is for our sauce later. We're gonna add cornstarch to that, but I want any trace of lobster flavor. So even though it's delicate, it's still flavored and better than just plain water. While my lobsters are cooling down, we're gonna make our General Tso's sauce, because that has to cool down as well. So to start that out, well, actually I have here the lobster water, and we're just gonna put a little bit of cornstarch in that, mix that around and set it aside. We're gonna add this to the sauce to thicken it while we're cooking the sauce down. So just make a slurry, put that aside. I have here 2 cloves of garlic. And we're gonna chop these up very fine. Got a nice, very fine dice on there. And now we're gonna do the same thing to this ginger. And if you've worked with ginger before, you know that a little goes a very long way. So we don't need too much of the ginger. You could always grate your ginger and your garlic, but it's kind of fun sometimes. Practice your knife skills and see if you still got it, or to improve them. There we go. All right, let's move over to the sauce pot. So I have this on a medium heat. Just gonna put in the tiniest drop of oil. We're not browning any of the veg or anything, the garlic or the ginger. So just a little bit. But all we're doing is really just taking the chill off of both of those. So that's my ginger, my garlic. I'm gonna put in a little bit of crushed red pepper. Now, if that seemed like a lot, I've eaten this one before and it's kind of mild, so that's not going to be very spicy. Now to this, we're going to add soy sauce, a little bit of rice vinegar, some white pepper. You could use black pepper, but I like the more subtle taste of the white pepper for sauces. We're gonna add a little bit of brown sugar. This will also help this sauce thicken up. Now it's funny, sugar was introduced when a lot of Asian cooking came to America to actually appeal towards the American palate. So a lot of very traditional Asian cooking, you won't see as much sugar used as when a recipe has been Americanized, which General Tso's has definitely been Americanized. Now we're gonna add that lobster cornstarch slurry. Bring this up to a boil and then down to a simmer for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna put it aside. So as you can see, that's already thickening up. That's it. Do you see how nice and thick that is? Because of the cornstarch and the sugar. Okay, we're gonna put this aside to cool down. Now comes the fun part of cleaning the lobster. So I like to do it in the sink because a lot of moisture comes out. And I also like to do it with shears rather than crackers, and I'll show you why. We're gonna pick all these legs tail. But I find with the shears, it is less mess. And that's just undercooked. Because like I said, we're going to bread it and fry it. So it's actually perfect that it's just a little bit under. So you take the cloth. And it is that easy with the shears. And then if you pull on this just right, see if I can get it. There's a little piece of cartilage in there. There we go. So that little piece. Now I have that whole claw intact. We're gonna fry that just like that. Nice big pieces. And then same thing with the knuckles. You just go down. Either side, peel those in half, and there you go. Boom. A lot easier than a cracker if you ask me. You just want to make sure there's no cartilage in those. Now I'll show you. And the legs should be like crab legs, where if you pull them off at the bottom, you get that piece of meat. Then you just go up every segment to pull that out. I know some people roll them to get the meat out, which is also effective, but again, with shears, pretty fast. And my favorite parts on New England lobster, look at that chunk of meat, are actually the legs and the knuckles. I love the knuckles. Yeah, it's just undercooked. I actually did them for 6 minutes, but that's what I want. Perfect. And these are just veg to accompany our General So lobster. So white onion is going to give you a little bit more of a mild taste, which is fine to eat raw. Because these, we're going to throw them in the pan really quick, just to get a little bit of chill off them, but not really cook them. But we're going to cut those into nice big squares. So just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing to the red pepper. And the red pepper, why? Because you're supposed to eat red food for good luck. So we're going for all the luck we can get here. Now for my lobster, I want nice big fat chunks. Now the leg meat I'm going to eat separately on its own. But this is just for the dish we're making today. Now let's make our batter. Oh, actually, I'm going to lightly salt this and then put it aside. So I have here just a little bit of sea salt. And that's it. This is going to be a wet batter. So we're going to do flour, cornstarch. I don't know why that was so difficult to say. So you want to do 1 to 3 on the flour and cornstarch. And the cornstarch, without it, it just won't get crispy enough. And we're going to put the rest over here because we're going to roll it in just cornstarch, then dip it into our batter here. So I'm gonna do a little bit of sea salt and black pepper this time. And we're just gonna slowly add water and mix it until, and I said this before, until it's about the consistency of pancake batter. But I like to go a little bit of water at a time so that you can really get it just perfect. You can add a little bit more water. So in here is just plain cornstarch. And one of the reasons that I put a little bit of salt on the lobster is to draw out some more of that moisture, so that we make sure we get a really nice crunchy coating on there. So my mom did a lot of cooking, but I know at one point, I guess they still do it. I'm just a minimalist, but everything that you cook, there's some specialty item that's geared towards you. And if you have enough cabinet space, people end up buying a lot of stuff. So whenever I come over here, I go through the cabinets and I find really random stuff that's great. One of them that I just found today that I didn't even know that we had, but I am so happy, is this. It's a deep fryer. So I'm gonna fill that with peanut oil, get it up to actually 325, because we're gonna cook this lobster twice to get that coating really crispy. So we have our cornstarch coated lobster. And I like doing this with chopsticks just because it keeps everything pretty clean. But we're gonna go somewhat slow. Like I said, this is at 325. We're gonna cook for a little bit at a lower temperature. Take it out, let it cool down, and then we're going to do another cook at a much higher temperature. And that'll get us a really crispy coating. We're going to do 2 batches so that everything doesn't just stick together in there. Okay, as these start to get a little bit golden, we're going to pull them out, put them aside, and let them cool down completely. So if you hold it in the oil for a second, if you're using a basket anyway, just like that, it'll keep it from sticking to the bottom. We have a very, very light golden brown color. And these are already plenty crispy, but when we do that second fry on them, it's gonna be really quick and a really, really high heat, which I'm gonna get that up to the highest heat it can go. We want that crisp so that it can stand up against the sauce that we're gonna put it in, and that when we go to eat it, it's still gonna be crunchy and crispy, but coated in sauce. Now the other important thing, so this is coming back up to temp. I'm gonna wait as long as I can so that all of this is cool to the touch. And as you can hear, I mean, this is already crispy. That's really, really good. But I want this completely cold, cooled down, so that when we go back in, just the outside cooks and we don't overcook our lobster and make it rubbery. I still want it to be soft and silky. Okay, now that these are cooled down, I'm gonna do them in 2 batches because I don't want the oil to cool down. I want it to stay ripping hot so that we can get that coating on the outside nice and brown really fast so that we don't overcook that lobster. That's what I'm looking for. We're almost done. These have been in here maybe 30 seconds or so. I'm gonna let them go about 15 more seconds and pull them out. And always remember, after you take them out of the oil, they're gonna be a little bit darker as they cool down on the side. So you wanna take them out right before the color that you want, which is where they're at now. Those are gorgeous. That is perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right. Still, see, this is what I was after. You hear how crunchy that still is? The lobster inside is not tough. So usually if you would get this from a takeout place, there would be probably 3 times the amount of sugar in there. And it would have probably corn syrup to make it thick, and the sauce. Cooking at home, you have so much control over so many things. This tastes like takeout in a good way. Those tail pieces, oh my God. So, Happy New Year to everyone. Lunar New Year. I was born Year of the Horse. That's my zodiac sign. I think this year is Year of the Dragon. I'm going to finish this, and then we're going to book it into Manhattan, into Chinatown to try to catch the parade. So if I have my timing right, I'll show you guys the parade because it is a scene. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Almost as amazing as this General Tso's lobster. And you could do this with spiny lobster just as easily. Oh, that was the claw. And it's amazing. The lobster flavor still comes through. I am a sucker for Chinese takeout. It is one of my favorite things. So to be able to do it at home is really something special, because usually after I get takeout, don't feel that hot. But I know this won't weigh me down. Even though it's fried, that's okay. But all right, I'm gonna eat and let's get into the city. All right, we made it into Chinatown. My friend Ash here with me.
Hi. What's up?
And we're heading to the parade. It is absolutely crowded, so this will be probably the last you hear from me because it's going to be a zoo. Yeah. But I just want to show you guys the parade because it's absolute madness. But to everyone, Happy New Year, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay, so we tried pushing through one spot. We tried pushing through one spot, no dice, so we're moving to the next spot. It is packed. And one of the things that I want to point out is that a lot of people say Chinese New Year. It's not Chinese New Year, it's Lunar New Year, and it's celebrated by a lot of different Asian cultures. So all of those cultures in New York City are here today and pushing their way to the front.
Big dragon.
So that was absolute chaos, but a lot of fun. It's just kind of nice to experience something a little bit different, you know? But I had a great time, and I really enjoyed making that lobster dish. I will do that again for sure. But thanks for coming along, guys. Happy New Year. I'll see you on the next one.